My wife, Rachel, who is 35, and I, a 35-year-old male, have been married for many years now. We have a daughter, Leah, a teenage female. I'm not proud to admit it, but I had another child while I was married to Rachel through another relationship. That child is Aiden, a tween male. I kept him a secret from them and paid child support to Aiden's mother, who had a good job too. Unfortunately, she passed away recently, leaving Aiden alone. I didn't want my son to suffer without any parents. The reason I didn't reveal Aiden's identity to Rachel and Leah was that I didn't want to cause a fight. But now, I had no choice. I went through all the proper procedures to get custody of Aiden recently, and I made him live in my house. My wife and Leah did not take it well. They went ballistic when they learned about him. Rachel screamed that I shouldn't even dare to think of letting him take a step inside, and Leah was saying the same stuff. But I didn't back down. They eventually had to be okay with the decision, but they've been absolutely livid about it. Rachel has been demanding to get Aiden away from the house. I told her that I wouldn't do that and warned her against doing anything to him. Leah got mad and asked me whether I value someone who was born out of a loose woman, and I lost my temper. I got up and told them to get out of my house if they didn't want to reside with Aiden. In the end, Rachel was crying, and they're not talking to me. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot, Major One. This situation your family is in is your fault. You cheated on your wife, kept it a secret, and now you sprung the secret on them with no warning. They have to live with a stranger and treat him like a son and brother with zero adjustment time. You didn't want to start a fight? How did that work out? I hope you enjoy being a divorced dad, and you know who your son will blame for the scorn he gets from his sister. Congrats on alienating your whole family, dude. Give her a divorce and let her move on from this horrible part of her life. I don't think you know how badly you destroy people when you cheat. Some of them never recover to be able to love. This is despicable behavior. Leave your wife and daughter in the house and find an apartment for yourself. Kicking her out is ridiculous. She didn't do anything, you did it all. You fooled her into thinking you were a half-decent person. If she had known what kind of garbage she was married to a decade ago, she could have divorced you then and maybe built a nice life with someone who actually loves her. You stole a decade of her life because you didn't want to start a fight, which actually means you didn't want her to know what kind of man you are. She was married to him, but he didn't really want to face the full consequences of his actions. He did the minimum in acknowledging Aiden and paying child support, but he never fully owned up to everything until he absolutely had to. He's a coward. Ironically, if this is true, he may also have screwed himself over. In states with alimony, and for federal purposes, being married for 10 years is often a major milestone. Rachel may be due far more during divorce proceedings now than she would have been 12 years ago. Update: I don't want Leah absent from my life, and Aiden is also my son. I have the right to bring him to my house as his father. For those who are gleefully saying that they hope Rachel divorces me, I'd rather have Aiden in my house than live with Rachel or Leah without him. I'm rich, and I can make my own path and find another wife if I want to. Absolutely nothing justifies calling her mother a loose woman like Leah did. Using that language absolutely blames him, his mother, and his ostracism. And yes, it is my house, it's theirs as well, but not legally. I own it. I gave them time to process it. I did not suddenly bring Aiden in, just to clarify. Oh boy, his update doesn't redeem him at all. I can find another wife if I want to, it's my house. I brought the world down around my wife's ears and then dared to get mad when she and my daughter got angry with me. Wow, what an idiot. Also, be under no illusion that if all you've done is be the bank for your son, he wants nothing to do with you right now either. I'd rather have my son in my life than my daughter. She's also special. This guy is truly despicable. The fact that he's rich yet, after at least 14 years of marriage, he gave his wife zero legal rights over their house and is behaving so callously is just gross. I'm also thinking about the tween son who is watching this go down. He likely already knows that he was a secret baby, a secret family, which is incredibly damaging itself. Now he's watching his dad throw a huge temper tantrum because the secret's out and indicates that he's willing to throw away a wife and another biological child. My daughter, Gigi, is always stirring up drama. She was a tattletale as a child and has unfortunately not grown out of it in her 30s. Gigi has this one-sided feud with my daughter-in-law, Deb. It's gotten worse because Gigi and her son, Max, a preschooler, moved in recently. I will spend my breakfast and dinner listening to how much Gigi hates Debbie. Debbie is a career woman, and I don't know if grandchildren are in her future. We don't ask. But the one-sided feud is caused by how Debbie hasn't given. My son is still a child, yet look how selfish Debbie is. Now, Gigi told us that she's pregnant again. This is shocking for several reasons, but mainly because I've never even heard of my daughter having a boyfriend. In the 2 weeks after Gigi announced her pregnancy, no father has been mentioned. I asked Gigi if it was a Christmas miracle about her pregnancy, and she went off on me, saying, "At least I'm not like Debbie and being selfish by not giving you grandbabies." I was in a short temper, and I told her, "Everyone else likes Debbie more than you because she's not just a miserable cow all the time. I'd rather have Debbie move in with me than you or your babies because at least Debbie will work her butt off to help provide for the family." Gigi is upset because I'm not happy for her and my new grandbaby, who will now be stuck living with me. My wife thinks I'm such an idiot for saying that, and I should be happy for Gigi and not praise Debbie too much because it makes Gigi do stupid things like trying to get pregnant to one-up Debbie. I think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I refuse to apologize to Gigi for what I said. If she doesn't like it, she can move out. Not the idiot. Up. Your daughter sounds exhausting, self-centered, and honestly super shallow. Maybe your son doesn't want kids, maybe Debbie doesn't want kids, maybe Debbie can't have kids, or your son can't. Either way, it's none of Gigi's business. If the only praise she can think of for her self-worth is that she can pop babies out unlike Debbie, I'm terrified of the conditions those children will grow up in. If she's trying to gain your approval by one-upping your daughter-in-law and getting pregnant, she must not know you very well. Your wife's suggestion that you should not praise Debbie too much because it makes Gigi do stupid things like try to get pregnant to one-up Debbie is just bonkers. Your wife and Gigi both seem unhinged. The time has come, the day has arrived, the reality train is at the station. I'd be fuming if Gigi was my daughter, 100%. Gigi is jealous of Debbie's life as a career woman with money who lives with a husband and not her parents while in her 30s. Gigi is a straight-up bitter hater. I suggest you tell her that it's time for her to move out and think about running her own household and providing for her children. It sounds like she doesn't have a plan to do any of those things and hates Debbie for having a job and proving that it's possible. Gigi needs a wake-up call. My husband and I have been married for about a year. He has a tween, Leah, and I have a younger tween, Adeline. My husband is the kind of guy who considers himself very manly. He won't do anything he considers feminine. For example, if I need tampons, I have to buy them myself because he thinks it's too feminine for him to do. However, he's a hypocrite because he does everything Leah asks him to do. For example, Leah loves doing makeup on other people, and my husband lets her use him as a model. Well, yesterday, I got home to my husband kneeling in front of Leah and polishing her toenails. Adeline asked me to polish her nails for her. I was busy preparing dinner, so I asked my husband to do it. He told me that he's not comfortable with doing this, it's too feminine. I asked him why he was comfortable doing this for Leah. He told me to ask Adeline's dad to do it, and I told him that Adeline's dad isn't here right now. Is he? Just do it. He refused again. I told him he's a jerk and a hypocrite and is showing favoritism. He called me an idiot. Am I? Why did you marry a man who's afraid of buying tampons for you? You are the idiot for marrying a jerk. Great role model for your daughter. You knew how he was and decided to marry him and subject your daughter to him anyway. You can't be surprised when he behaves the way he's always conducted. Oh, Jesus. My husband used to keep tampons in the passenger door of his truck just for me and my daughter for emergency reasons. This is the right kind of masculine man. He drives a masculine car but has female things just in case. I wonder why Ops hubby was a single dad in the first place. I'm going to guess his double standards and views. You married a misogynist, and now you're surprised that he's behaving like a misogynist? Are you okay? Have you had a stroke or something? Did you get married after a week? How could you not have seen this? Your husband sounds like two shoelaces and chewed up gum are holding together his masculinity. He's also showing clear favoritism to his daughter and neglects to show any of the same care to you or your daughter. How could you allow him to treat you and your daughter like that? Good job picking a stepdad who doesn't care about your daughter. My husband, 67, and I, a 67-year-old female, have 3 kids and 7 grandkids. Our youngest son, Merlin, 34, has 2 kids with his wife, they're twins, young teens, 1 boy, Townsend, and 1 girl, Emmeline. We see all of our kids and grandkids often and love them very much. Townsend is our sporty one, he plays baseball and loves it. He's also the sensitive grandchild, he's not afraid to cry if he's sad. Emmeline is our artist, she's always painting, drawing, or knitting. As you may be able to tell, we love to support our grandkids' passions and interests in any way possible. Every year, Christmas breakfast is done at our house. My husband and I love having everyone come over. The grandkids all get gifts at their houses and then come over here. We eat, and then they open gifts from us. We also get gifts for our kids and their spouses. On Sunday, we had our kids and grandkids over to help decorate for Christmas. After some decorating, we took a break to make dinner. When dinner was ready, Merlin and his wife were joking about how their kids might be on the naughty list after they got in trouble at school. We asked what happened. Towns got in trouble for selling snacks. Towns has a friend whom he met on vacation a few months ago, a boy from Panama. They both love baseball and would send each other gifts or souvenirs and snacks from each kid's country. Towns said that he sold some of the snacks this boy sent him with the boy's permission, which was against school rules. He got 2 days of detention and said what was worse was his coach telling him he's disappointed in him, since he's usually a good kid. Then we asked Emmeline what she did, and she didn't answer because she said she was being unfairly bullied for it. Towns then started to look like he was going to hold back tears. We asked him if he needed to talk to someone, and he asked to talk to me. He said that Emmeline had said some racist things to a Hispanic boy, making jokes about his culture and heritage, and how she got suspended for 3 days. She was getting some pushback, but he thought it was justified pushback. I then asked my husband to speak to me, and after talking, we asked Merlin to talk to us. We told Merlin we were concerned about Emmeline's behavior, and he said that both kids got in trouble, so we should also be concerned about Towns. We told him it wasn't the same and also told him he needed to address Towns' feelings about this. He dismissed us. We then told him that if he didn't take these actions, he and Emmeline wouldn't be getting Christmas gifts. He then talked to his wife, and I could see her getting uncomfortable. When they got home, he called me to say I was acting immature and overstepping my bounds. He said that he's the parent, that he and his wife get to call the shots in his house, and that we were being petty. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Why does it seem like everything revolves around Towns for you? Why should your son address Towns' feelings in regard to Emmeline's punishment? Sure, she deserves punishment, but that shouldn't be dictated by her brother. First, I think you're unfairly interfering in your son's parenting. If you want to have a frank conversation with Emmeline, then that seems reasonable. But setting ultimatums with your adult son is ridiculous. Second, I think you have favorites here. Emmeline is her own person and should be treated as such. She's not an extension of Town's feelings, she is her own person. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why your son pushed back. I think it's totally appropriate to be disappointed in your granddaughter for saying awful things, and as a grandparent, you should talk to her about it. But you are the idiot for using Christmas as a tool for punishment. Christmas and birthdays should stand alone. P.S. I'm curious. How a kid gets 2 days of detention for selling snacks, that's crazy. Both kids received punishment from school authorities for breaking school policies. Emmeline received 3 days, 1 day more than your grandson. While it's positive that your grandson talks to you about his concerns, the answer isn't for you to insert yourself, act like a superior court arbiter, and demand greater punishment or you will withhold Christmas gifts. So manipulative. Shame on you. This is the first time I've had drama with my best friend Trenton, both 27 males, since high school. I've known his wife, Chrissy, since college, and during their wedding, I met Becca, who was the maid of honor, 28. She's a really cool person. She has a young grammar school-aged daughter whom she brings to Trenton and Chrissy when I'm there, so I've gotten to know Becca well. Recently, I broke up with my girlfriend, and I was hanging out more at Trenton's because Chrissy was pregnant. Chrissy suggested that since I don't have anyone to do things with right now, I should get closer to Becca because she likes to try new places too. Becca is fun, easy on the eyes, and will provide great company. We made plans to check out a new brewery, and I was clear that it was as friends. We texted back and forth a few times during the week leading up. Saturday comes, and 2 hours before, she calls frantically, saying her kid was having a meltdown because of her dad's parents and was sick, so she had to cancel. I told her it was all good. The following week, we didn't talk as much, and Chrissy asked if I was going to give the friendship another go. I said maybe. On Monday, Becca called me to apologize and asked if I wanted to check out the brewery on Friday. I said absolutely. Literally 1 hour before, she called me almost in tears, saying the babysitter canceled and asked if I'd be okay waiting for another hour. She was going to take her kid to her parents who lived 30 minutes away and then would meet me. I told her I wasn't going to wait around another hour because the whole point of this was to have friends to do things with. I'd been bailed on twice, so I was going to go. She offered to have me come to her place, and she'd make us a drink on the back deck, and we could hang out there for the night till her kid went to bed. I said that wasn't the kind of friendship I wanted, and it just felt like our schedules were not aligning. I wanted a friend with whom I could do things consistently. My time is valuable, and I made plans that fell through 2 weekends in a row. I said maybe there was too much baggage here. She apologized and said she wanted to make it up to me. I said there was no reason to do that, we could just be casual friends like before. But if she ever wanted to hang out late at night when she had more time, then she had my number. That was the end of it. Well, starting on Monday, Chrissy has been angry with me. I stopped at their place last night, and she had comments for me. I told her my side, and she said I knew Becca had kids and that things would pop up. I said I knew they would, but I didn't, and my time was wasted. While Becca was cute, her lifestyle is not something I'm into, so we could go back to the way things were. Chrissy kept going at me in a way I'd never seen before. Trenton and I gamed last night, and he said she's still mad, but he thinks it might just be pregnancy hormones. Am I the idiot? On the surface, this seems like you might be in the clear. You don't feel your time is being respected, and you shared your expectations clearly. But it's a way to bury the real reason. You are the idiot. You sent her a text that said, "I'm not going to put any effort in, but if you want intimacy, hit me up, and yes, that's gross. Yikes, dude. Yep, basically she's got too much baggage for Op to waste his valuable time on, but she's good enough for a late night booty call, but just barely. I think Becca dodged a bullet. You are the idiot for how you talk to her. You don't have to want to be friends, more than friends, into her lifestyle, etc. You could at least be polite and keep it to yourself that her emergencies with her kid are a waste of time and an indication of baggage in your eyes. P.S. She didn't bail on you the second time, she was running late. You bailed.